Two reasons why gold and silver got absolutely clobbered today. Not a fun day for us holders of precious metals or the mining stocks. Gold down almost $30 per ounce from its intraday high. It was at $19.70 per ounce. As I'm recording this, trading around $19.40 per ounce. Silver, even worse, hit an intraday high of $24.16. The sun was starting to come out. Right now, trading at $23.36, down 80 cents per ounce, or almost 3 1/3%. But what are these two big stories? And I gotta tell you, I'm not really worried about the two reasons being offered as to why silver price and gold price got clobbered today. One of them I'm even less worried about than the other. Thank you for joining me in the basement. You are the most important part of Ron's Basement. I hope you enjoy your time here. Please subscribe to the channel. That would help a lot, and give this video a thumbs up. Now, the first reason they are offering us as to why silver and gold got clobbered today: rising interest rates. The 10-year bond rate went all the way up to 3.8%. Started the day around 3.7%. And over the last 6 months or a year, the highest it's ever gotten, a little over 4%. So we're not that far away already from an all-time recent high on the 10-year bond. But the important thing to remember that banking crisis that happened, about 7 or 8 weeks ago? That situation that came up that they kind of swept under the rug? If rates keep going up as they inch up further and further and further, that pushes more and more banks into a position where they're basically insolvent, because as the rates go up on the bonds, the value of the bonds that all the banks hold, it goes down. So we can't expect that rates can go much higher without causing something to break. And what happens when something breaks? Well, one way or the other, through some type of smoke or mirror trick, the Fed comes to the rescue. So I'm not so concerned from that perspective about rates getting much higher. And hey, the gold price, I know today's cruddy, but still $19.40 for an ounce of gold spot price. That's still not too bad when you look at it through the lens of the last year or so. The other important thing to remember about this rate component reason as to the clobbering of the gold and silver price today is the fact that if rates do get much higher, it's going to constrict the overall economy even more, send us into a recession even faster. And we know what happens when we head into a recession. Our old friend Jerome Powell, he's got plenty of room then to lower rates. And when he lowers rates, that will be a super happy celebratory day for the silver price, for the gold price, for the precious metal mining stocks prices. We're going to have a big party here in Ron's Basement. Now let's move on to the second reason they're selling us as to why the gold price and silver price went down today. Our friends in China. Did you know that's the second largest economy in the world? Well, they shocked the markets overnight when they announced that in May, exports dropped by 7.5% as compared to May of 2022. Now, that sent reverberations around the world markets. But in terms of the silver price and gold price, that was bad, because people then say, well, they're not going to need as much metals. They're not going to have as much money to buy precious metals. And maybe there's a component of truth to that. However, it's critical to remember China is the world's second largest economy. So if they are shipping fewer goods to the United States and to Europe, that's a telltale sign that the world economy is slowing precipitously. And what do we think happens when the world economy slows precipitously? You got it. The central banks of the world need to loosen up with their monetary policy. And what happens when the central banks loosen up on their monetary policy? Print a little extra money. Well, that sends the currencies down and the price of silver and gold skyrocketing. It helps me feel better when I look back 6-7 months ago. The gold price was flirting with the $1,700 range. That makes $19.50 per ounce gold right now not seem so unpalatable. And what about silver? Heck, it was down near $17 per ounce. Today, we're still sitting above $23 per ounce. We need to keep things in perspective. And like we discussed, these two reasons they've given us today, higher interest rates and China slowing down, well, sure, I can understand why on a short-term basis they may impact the price, but the big picture, right? When we look at the forest and not the trees, the big picture is still intact for the precious metals, not to mention the fact that they're kind of ignoring major escalation in the Ukrainian war. This dam that was blown up, that's a big deal that only further accentuates the divide going on in the world, the bifurcation which is occurring between the East and the West. And don't forget, those people in the East, right? Russia, China, all the BRICS countries, and all the other countries that are joining force with them, they love their precious metals. And as a matter of fact, they've got a couple big meetings coming up this summer where a lot of people are speculating we're going to hear about a new reserve currency that might just be backed by, yeah, that's right, silver and gold. So while we navigate the little bit of choppy waters we've hit today within the precious metal sector, let's keep our eye on the big picture and realize the future looks good for the silver price and the gold price. I'll see you soon. Why don't you go watch a live stream?